I went from iron to immortal. And this is how you can do it too. I'm going to tell you my biggest problems at every rank and what I did to fix them. Iron. I'm going to be honest with you guys, a lot of being an iron is just learning the game. But even getting better at this one thing in the smallest amount will help you rank up. And that would be crosshair placement. Wait. Before you click off the video, because I know everyone says crosshair placement, this is what you actually have to improve on specifically to get out of iron. In this clip, when I was actually iron, I'm basically aiming at the floor, especially when I first walk out of the smoke, which means I'm not ready in case an enemy swings, and that extra time that it would take me to flick up would likely get me killed. This concept is called having your crosshair in dead space, which in layman's terms means your crosshair is in a space where it's not only out of place, but you will likely have to do extra work to get it on target. So what does good crosshair placement actually look like, and how did I fix this to rank up? In this clip from recently, my crosshair is at head level, but beyond this, I'm ready for the enemy to swing. My crosshair is never too close to the corner, especially if I think they're going to swing wide, and it's close enough that if I do have to flick, the movement will be a micro adjustment compared to if I had to flick up in the other clip. Now, that description got a little intense, so let's just back off a little bit. All you have to focus on when you're in iron with your crosshair placement is simply keeping it at head level. You have to remember most people in this rank are still learning the game, and I promise you, keeping it at head level is going to help you frag better and also help you get out of iron. But what steps do you actually have to take to improve your crosshair placement? This is the secret sauce that will be important for the rest of the video, so pay attention. Not only is practice important for obvious reasons, so playing DMs, ranked games, unrateds, whatever you want to do, but what will really make you skyrocket in skill and rank is purposeful practice. Not just going into your DMs to get better, but actually thinking about what you're trying to improve on when you're doing it. I think this is what a lot of tip videos miss the mark on. They can tell you how to get better, but if you're not actually practicing it consciously, it's going to take you much longer. As an example, in this DM, I specifically went into it focusing on my crosshair placement. So for me, that would be keeping my crosshair level like we talked about and trying to mitigate or completely eliminate my crosshair being in dead space throughout the DM. If there's anything you take away from this video, it should be that practicing with purpose is the best way to get reps in and actually see improvement in your gameplay. Bronze. What really helped me to get out of bronze was stopping crouch spraying. I was the biggest culprit of crouch spraying, and still to this day, I spray a little too much for comfort. But you guys need to stop spraying. Spraying is good in very few scenarios in Valorant, but on the flip side, it makes it easier for the enemies to track you through smokes. It makes you an easier target, especially if you're crouching, because the enemy doesn't have to keep adjusting their crosshair, unlike if you were strafing. And 3, because spray patterns are relatively random, unlike CSGO, and it's hard to counter the recoil other than just pulling down. While there will always be exceptions to this rule, tapping or bursting 1 to 3 bullets max will usually be better, and since you can strafe in between each burst/tap, you will therefore be a harder target to hit. Now, what comes after learning how to not crouch spray anymore? Everyone say it with me. Strafing! Probably the most talked about skill in Valorant. And the most important thing about learning to strafe when you're first starting is not moving when you're shooting. Now, this may sound self-explanatory, but it's very easy to mess up because you may not have the timing down just yet. You can practice your timing on this by going in the range and trying to strafe and tap each of the targets. But if you ever notice your bullets flying to Narnia, it's probably because you were moving while shooting. Some people will suggest for you to unbind crouch. This has never been a great solution for me because I feel like I needed to learn on my own not to crouch. But if this is your biggest problem, you should probably go into your next few rank games thinking about it and only trying to practice that while also playing the game how you normally would. Silver. My biggest tip for if you're in silver is literally just to play more. Silver was a wild ride for me as a player because in one act I went from silver 3 to diamond 1. And you may ask how I did this. Was I hacking? Was I getting boosted? No. It's all because I played more. Around this time, someone gave me the advice of trying to play 3 to 5 games a day. Obviously, not everyone is able to commit to this, and that's okay. But just as a heads up, only playing a couple games a week is going to make you improve extremely slow. Just like anything, Valorant is a skill, and to get better at it, you have to put time into it. However, on the bright side, even playing a few DMs and 1 to 2 ranked games a day will help you improve so much as a player, especially when you're low elo. If you think about it, your favorite pro players all have thousands of hours on this game, and while you may not have your mindset on going pro, even ranking up to diamond can be made easy if you just put in more time. However, the great thing about this video is that all the tips, when practiced mindfully, will help you rank up faster because you don't have to learn them all through queuing on your own. Gold. My biggest tip for gold players is recognizing patterns of the enemy team and playing numbers. A great thing to start thinking about in gold is, what is the enemy team doing? This can be applicable at all levels and can get more advanced as you go, but picking up patterns like they always go B on our ecos, or every time they have raise ult they go C, will not only help you improve at the game, but make the game easier. The great thing about picking up these patterns is that they can be applicable across games. Say you're learning the game, but notice that ISO always tries to ult your sentinel in the past couple games you played. You can now plan around this by asking your sentinel to play off site and having someone else tank the ult so their utility is still up and one of your teammates can play off of it. Small patterns like these that you adapt to will leave the enemy team scrambling to pick up the pieces of the round. Overall, picking up on these patterns will win you so many rounds, which ultimately wins you more games. The average Valorant player is somewhere around gold, so I'm gonna give you guys an extra tip. Something that can really make a difference in your games is learning how to play numbers. A lot of the time, players will be up a 5v4 or a 5v3 and just start swinging to kill the last couple players on the enemy team. But giving 1v1s when you're up numbers is throwing 80% of the time. You've essentially been gifted a round win by whatever brave soul on your team got that first blood, and you're putting it up to a 50-50 to see if you throw that away. On top of that, players, especially on offense, will group together, and now you are in a 1v2 plus for no reason and basically giving up the round. So when you notice that you're up numbers, it's okay to tell your teammates to back off or play numbers if they're extending too far. On top of that, if you're alone on site and the enemy team is executing, it's okay to get off and retake because you have the advantage. Plat. Something that genuinely helped me in Plat was stopping autopiloting and working more on my positioning. As a Plat player, you're starting to get out of the realms of average Valorant player and into the realms of above average Valorant player. We just talked about recognizing patterns of the enemy team, but the flip side of this is autopiloting. When players start autopiloting, i.e. keep hitting the same site in a row even if it's not working anymore, or playing in the same spot every round, enemy team will usually pick up on this and counter you. Staying present in your games and thinking to yourself before each round, where can I play that will counter what the enemy team is doing, will not only help you win more, but also make you a better player because you're consciously thinking about what's going on in the match. A lot of those close games that you lose 11-13 or even in OT can be won by just being present with what you're doing. This might be a surprise, but this is actually a very difficult skill to master. At least it was for me. If you're struggling like I was, putting a sticky note on the bottom of your monitor that says something like lock in or focus up can help remind you to actively think about how you can impact the game. Diamond. Learning different ways to peak angles. This one is a big one and something that really helped me push myself from Diamond to Ascendant, but it is honestly applicable at any rank and something that would have been so beneficial for me to practice sooner. Previously, I only used to peek into angles, which looks a little something like this. Do you see how I'm following the corner of the wall with my crosshair? This type of peek is okay in some scenarios, especially if you're clearing a corner fast or trying to catch someone off guard. However, if you're trying to contact up somewhere and you're slow peeking into angles like this, there's a high chance if someone's holding you, you're probably gonna die. A better way to clear angles like this, in my opinion, is pre-aiming the angle, which looks like this. Notice how I stop fully and put my crosshair on where their head would be if they are holding me, and then swing only with my A and D key. At first, this looks really slow, but you can also do it in a fast-paced movement as well. This skill is not only something that has helped me take my gameplay to the next level, but it's something I'm still working on even now in Immortal. Ascendant. Now that you're an Ascendant, you are the top dog in the Valorant ranked scale. Well, kind of. At this point, you have a lot of the skills to succeed, you just need to master them. Being an Ascendant means it's grind time, and boy do I know what that's like. You are a top 5% player, and that means you're basically awesome. However, this also means that you have to fine-tune a lot of your mistakes to hit that next level. While you've come this far, the road to Immortal will not be easy. But I believe in you. That's why after every single death, you should be thinking about what you did wrong. And on top of this, if you are able to VOD review your games, you will be able to pick out those small mistakes even faster. I'm assuming because you've made it this far in the ranks, you want to be Immortal or even Radiant and aren't just playing for fun anymore. While all of the previous tips will help you Ascendant players, a lot of this is going to be putting in the work on your own time and being able to see what you did wrong. Sometimes games are going to be a team diff, but even making small mistakes that lose rounds will lose you games, and I'm the biggest culprit of this. So drop your ego. I definitely had to, because it's grind time. As your friendly neighborhood Immortal 2 player, if I had to depart any knowledge to you guys, it's this. I'm going to be honest, a lot of people have been lying to you. While I can tell you a lot of mistakes you're making, it does take time and effort to fix it. None of this can be done in a day, and it took me over a year to get to Immortal, and then it took me even longer to start consistently hitting it and get to Immortal 2. Now, I'm a bit of an outlier because this was my first FPS game, but to be good at anything, you have to put in time and actually practice. And while I've enjoyed doing that with Valorant, not everyone wants to put that much time in for a video game, and that's okay. If you want to play for fun, that's completely valid. After all, games are meant to be fun. But if you need a little boost in your gameplay or want to show off to your friends, I hope this video was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe if this helped you.